This meeting is being recorded.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Yurczyszyn.
Yurczyszyn.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like somebody just slapped on the keyboard, and that was my last name. But
welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, buddy? We
have Waleed with us.
Hello, what's going on?
And most importantly, we have a special guest on the Reality Guys boat today, Kendra Yurczyszyn. You were one of our favorite contestants on the Real Love Boat, formerly of CBS, now / Paramount Plus. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Hi.
So I know a lot of our community is going to be excited. This show for us, and I know, like you said, your mom watches, your mom's commented. I've definitely interacted with her in the comments on either the Facebook or in the comment section. But this show really for us was a kind of surprise hit. Now, I know you're going to laugh at that because it got moved off of CBS and went to Paramount Plus. But for us, and especially Brian and Waleed, I have to give credit to, who covered every single episode of the show for us on the channel. So go back and check those out. We just thought it was an awesome, wholesome, just change up from the fake BS drama. There may not have been as much drama in your show, but everything we saw, for at least what we perceived, was pretty real, not overproduced. And it seemed like for the most part, you all were enjoying yourselves. So like my first question really would be like, describe your experience on the Love Boat and just how did you even hear about this and get involved?
Somebody reached out to me and I thought it was a scam because they were like, do you want to go on a cruise and like see all these amazing things and maybe win money and then also maybe meet somebody? And I was like, I don't know so much about that part, but definitely traveling around sounds like really awesome. So I was like, okay, I'll bite. And then I went through the audition process and they just thought I was like, I guess a likable person, thankfully, and then wanted me to be on the show. So that's kind of what got me in. Like, I love to travel. So this was like perfect opportunity to do that. And like, it was a good time. There was definitely some times that were not as enjoyable, but it was like, you know, when I have kids someday, I can be like, oh, your mom was on a show. Let's watch it together. And they'll be like, oh my God, mom, you're so cringe. But you know, it's like something I won't forget.
I think that this is fair to say that this is a show you could go back and show your kids, show your family members. Like there's nothing that you, or I think really anyone really did on the boat that was anything too cringeworthy, or, hey, this wasn't one of the Challenge or Survivor or some of these things where you're going to see a lot more, or Temptation Island, Love Island. Like you guys were cool. Again, I think it was a nice change up. I think obviously too, they were aiming for that CBS audience, that kind of general audience.
Yeah.
But again, why do you think, in your opinion, why do you think it didn't find its footing?
I personally feel like, well, I wasn't there for the first 2 episodes. Well, I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm just saying like I wasn't there on the boat to know what the whole deal was going to be. But I think the first episode was a lot of like explaining the concept of the show. Mm-hmm. And that was the majority of it. And it was like, here's everybody, this is how things are going to work, which is like, you have to do, but is not interesting. Like it's like explaining Monopoly to someone, like people don't want to listen to it. And then it's getting it, like it's warming up to the concept of what the show is. And then that's what I think it was. I think it was a really slow start. I feel like, and I don't know if you guys agree, like towards the like mid to end of the season, like it got so much better. And I was like, why did we start off with this stuff with all the juice? Like we were like, you know, it was like retirement home friendly, like
Kumbaya.
Yeah. So that's what I think it was, because I feel like the show was good. There wasn't a lot of drama, like you said, like people weren't like always fighting with each other, and I think that's what people are used to when it comes to reality TV, and we weren't giving that. I mean, there were some in there every once in a while, but maybe that was it. I don't know. Also, it wasn't on Netflix, so
it wasn't part of the what we like to call the Lachey verse, with things like The Circle, Love Is Blind, all those type of things. We've got Ultimatum, like everything's Lachey verse for us on Netflix. Exactly. What's interesting, Kendra, and I want to dive a little deeper into your show analysis here. So, we kind of talked about this. I think you might know where I'm getting at here, but what was your favorite episode this season?
Okay, because like I haven't really watched all of them. Like I've like skimmed through them. I feel like my favorite one was the bungee jumping one because like that was my favorite memory on the boat was like jumping, which was jumping off a cliff, which is really like hilarious. But it was something I had never done before, and I was the first person to do it. And we were in like in Athens, which is absolutely beautiful. First time I was ever there, and yeah, I don't know, and I don't think I'll ever do it again. So I feel like that was my favorite one. And then nothing extremely crazy was happening. Like when you're living through these experiences of having singles coming in and being like, I want to steal the person you're with, which means you'll go home if I succeed. It's very stressful to go through every 2 days, which is what we were going through. So just to jump, honestly, it was less stressful to jump off the cliff. I'm going to be real. That's my point.
It's not one of the normal packages with the Princess Cruise Line is that you may get ejected for 2 days.
I did enjoy that episode as well, though. Definitely, that was like you saw it with like all the couples, especially when they were about to, jump off. Like you felt like that was where a lot of the couples got closer, and especially you and Jordan as well. Do you feel like that was like a big turning point for you and him?
Yeah, I feel like from there, it like we got a lot closer. Because he was like, oh my God, like you are crazy, but kind of like in a good way. And I guess he like trusted me to motivate him to jump off. So he was like, he could rely on me. And I feel like that was our dynamic a lot through the show was like, he relied on me a bit to go through the challenges and stuff. And there's a lot of things that happened behind scenes, like, just to get into it, we had phones in our rooms that you could call.
Okay.
Like, and a lot of people called each other on our room phones because we weren't allowed to see each other outside of filming. So
Really?
so a lot of us called each other, and like he would call me and I would call the girls and all of us would talk. So we were forming bonds even without filming. They didn't want us to do that, but we all did it. So
Oh, I like that. So I mean,
Can we stay here, Bill? Like, what other things? Like, was there anything cut from the show? Like, that's a big detail that you guys didn't see each other at all during filming. I thought maybe at the dining hall or
I have a follow
like those lines.
Yeah, like we had an escort when we would go to like the buffet and go eat and stuff like that. So we would see each other, but like they would be like, no talking, no talking.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of the time because that was kind of like the rules of the boat. They wanted you to have the conversations in front of the camera, which is like any show. But there was a lot of things that they didn't show. Like I went on. Do you guys remember Dean?
Yes. We remember Dean.
With Dean, like we went on 2 dates. That was cut out. Yeah. He was into me on. I don't know if this was for the show or like actually. And so we ended up going on 2 dates. And I declined. Well, I guess they didn't show up, but we ended up actually. Yeah, he was like, "Do you see us being anything more?" And I was like, "No." And then they were like, "Okay, this is boring." So I guess they just cut it out.
So if you were sequestered from each other, my follow-up was going to be, did you guys not get to interact with the other voyagers, like the other people on the cruise at all? Like nothing? So you guys were just sequestered besides just kind of those random times they were the audience members?
Yeah, like we weren't supposed to be because, just to keep things like safe and like they were very strict on making sure, COVID is still a thing. So they were like very like, we don't want people who are just coming on the boat interacting with people on the cruise. Like they were super, super safe, I will say. So they wanted to keep everyone protected, which was never a problem. We got COVID tested like twice a day. It was a lot. They just wanted to be super safe. It was more of a safety precaution than anything. And they also, I guess, didn't want us like being like, hey, we're on a show and this is what's happening. So people could like spoil it.
We like the idea that maybe they had it on closed circuit TV, like it was like the Truman Show, and all the people on the boat were watching you guys. That was one of the free tips.
It seemed like as the season progressed that the boat started to become a lot more full of people at like towards the end, the last few episodes. So I'm guessing at each port they pick up a bunch of new people to come on. But yeah, when was it filmed? Out of curiosity.
It was in June. We filmed it.
Okay. Okay, this summer. Okay.
Yes.
I have a question. Was this your first cruise?
Yeah, this was my first cruise.
Okay, so would you go back on a cruise? I mean,
I have
someone who's been on a cruise.
I have like PTSD from cruises right now.
Well,
But
I mean, yeah, especially if did you eat dinner? Like, because cruises, you're supposed to interact with everyone. You go to like your dinner, like,
The
were you
entertainment.
eating like just alone in your room?
oh my, yeah, well, like sometimes Shay was like one of my best friends on the ship. She would come into my cabin sometimes. Like we weren't supposed to be doing that,
Legally?
but we would all like sneak in and have a meal together. But a lot of times it was like I was just like lonely eating in my cabin alone. But our balconies were right next to each other. And all that separated us was like a little bar. So we would,
Right.
if they were catching us talking in each other's rooms, we would go to the balconies and then keep talking to each other.
Right, it's
Wow.
like our boy Chaotic on Love and Hip.
Yeah, I mean, just because I've been like, the next thing I was gonna ask you, what was your level of room? Because I've been on a cruise where you're in a prison cell inside, but at least you had a balcony. Like if you just had no balcony, that would be very bad living conditions for you.
Oh, that would suck. No, it was a nice size room. Like it was
Okay.
That's good.
like master bedroom size.
Okay. Decent, like, because the bathroom, I remember when I was on a cruise, it's like a porta potty size bathroom. Like, did you have like at least good anemones? Like,
Oh yeah. Like it was like a full size actual
That's good.
bathroom. Like it wasn't super big, but it was big enough that you could like get ready in there and all that stuff.
Oh, these are
And
the things that people want to know. Trust me.
because especially a lot of people go on cruises. So like for you to not even experience the good parts of being on a cruise, that to me, I was surprised by that. I thought you guys would just go down to the dining hall, say hello to like your favorite like people you eat dinner to and next to every day, meet some
wish.
friends.
But the cruise itself was really nice. Like if I was going to go on a cruise again, I would go on a princess cruise. Like
Okay.
that. It's a
Nice
really nice cruise ship, and like everything's super tidy. The food was really good. Like it was just buffet all the time, and like
Yeah.
I'm a girl who likes to eat, so I was, that was great. Dessert, amazing. So
Mhm.
from that aspect, great time. But like when we were getting off the ship, we'd have to go do challenges and stuff, and then so like you had to travel there wherever you're going. Like for example, when we did that lavender field bathtub challenge, we had to drive 2 hours to the place, and
To the
then we had
bathtub.
to like go through the rules, get ready, do the actual challenge, and then drive the 2 hours back. So that's all we did, and that was for a lot of the time. That's what we were doing.
So I have a whole section here called Jerry O'Connell, but now that we've been doing it this way, I kind of want to start with this avenue. We can work back to like, is he nice or not? Did Jerry have to do this too? Was Jerry locked away on the boat, or was Jerry like helicoptering around and popping in to see you guys? Because that seems like a lot for him to like be locked away in the damn cabin too the whole time.
He had his kids with him. He had his family with him. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what they were doing exactly. Like maybe they were like going around, like taking the kids to the pool and stuff. But like I didn't really see them unless we were like filming, to be honest. Besides him like getting his wardrobe fitted and all that good stuff.
That's really funny. Was he a nice guy though? Overall, with your interactions, the time you guys did spend with him?
Jerry is the funniest person. He's actually super genuine. Like he gives off dad vibes. I love Jerry. He's pure dad vibes.
You enjoyed dancing after every elimination?
You guys know I didn't. You guys know I didn't.
It seemed like nobody did. That was always like the cringiest part of every episode is when they just the music comes on and everything.
You went home.
Yeah.
Thing for a minute. Did you guys watch the finale, the end, like where they're all like,
Yeah, that's what I was just doing. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know they were gonna do that, and they just like these people just came out and dancing. What the hell? I was like, hopefully we're not expected to do that because this shit is cringe. But I mean, like, it fits the vibe for the Love Boat, I guess. But I was just like, why are we dancing all the time?
This show should have been, if they were wanting to go for the vibe they were going for, and they were obviously leveraging the Love Boat title for like an older generation, should have been on like Lifetime or something. That's all. It just should have been on a different channel, right? And it would have totally matched up, and the right people would have seen it. Holiday season right now, everyone's watching the Christmas movies. I think it could have worked out for you guys. So a little free marketing up there.
You'll see me on Dancing with the Stars next. That'll be the next avenue after this.
That'll be a huge step up. That's a show in terms of like longevity. That show's like on 30 seasons now.
If you go on Dancing with the Stars, we'll cover Dancing with the Stars because you're a friend of the show now. It's the only way we would actually cover the show. Are you a reality TV fan?
I used to be until I went on reality TV.
Oh
I
no.
can't watch it the same anymore. Like I'll be sitting and I don't know, like Love is Blind or Bachelorette will be on, and I'm like, I can't, because I know the way they film things now, and now my brain can't unsee it. Like I'm like they shot that scene 3 different times from like 3 different angles. Like I can't do it.
Totally
It
fair.
Broke your brain. It broke your
It did.
fandom. Was
It's
it worth it?
Was it worth it? Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna say
There's a hesitation.
I was like, well, my reality TV viewing parties have been forever tainted, but like, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I came out with some like really good friends, so no, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like like I said from the beginning, like it's a well put together show, a lot of really good characters and good people that came on it. That was one of the big positives that I took away from it. Whereas like a lot of other reality TV shows, if the cast is, disingenuous, not the best people, sometimes that alone loses traction. So, I mean, just the people that you met, I'm sure made it worthwhile in this case.
Oh, 100%. Like everyone was pretty genuine, to be honest. Like you guys say you guys are regular guys. We're all regular people. Like I still work my 9 to 5. I wasn't on trying to like be an influencer or anything like that. Like it was just, I'm kind of a person who likes to do things I've never done before. And I feel like a lot of people on the boat had the same kind of like look, I guess. And that's kind of what we were all doing, just going on and seeing what happened, really. And things happened.
So, what is your current status of your relationship with Jordan? And besides that, has anybody formed any kind of meaningful connection that you're aware of who was part of the cast?
I don't think anybody is together at all. I think the success rate of the Real Love Boat was 0. But me and Jordan actually saw each other for a while. We actually just broke up recently. He came to like my city and then stayed for a few weeks and then came back, stayed for a few weeks, and it just didn't work out. Like I ended up breaking it off. I'm really busy with work and just operating in the real world after having someone plan out your dates for you. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not the same. It's not like you have to put the effort in yourself. And I don't have time and things were not working. I'm like, how deep do I go into this?
No, I just, we're not looking for like the crazy tea or to like make bad mouth anyone. Just kind of genuinely curious. We're a non-spoiler channel. We don't, especially when the shows are airing, we try really not to Google the shows really or even go on Twitter as much as we can or search the hashtags because that's where we end up finding these things out. So
Yeah.
genuinely had no clue until I just asked you. So sorry it didn't work out, but also I'm sorry that my prediction that the Love Boat was going to be the Titanic of love also worked out. So
It is. I think a few people saw each other, like actually a few people who like weren't seeing each other on the boat ended up seeing each other off the boat. So there was like a little cross sectioning going on there. I think Tyler and Nathan saw each other for a bit, which they saw each other on the boat, but they were seeing each other. They're not actually together, but they're like friends, I guess. And then a few other people started seeing each other. Like I think Brett and Sarah started seeing each other. Do you remember Brett from like the first episode a million years ago? Yeah, so he started seeing Sarah, who came on with Mila, and was seeing Dean. So people were swapping around. I feel like there's more people who have done that, but I can't for the life of me think of who it was.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like if you guys had a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more days, you're saying it's like every 2 days you have an elimination. It's tough to just actually have conversations with everyone and actually find out maybe who you actually do have a true connection with.
Yeah, and like before I came on the boat, like they had an idea that me and Jordan were gonna like pick each other because they know, like we go through psych evals before we go on the ship. They map out a chart of who's going to get along with who based on your personalities. So when they found out Jordan wasn't the most happy in his first coupling, but his type is blondes, they send the blonde in. So it's kind of like, I was kind of like stuck with Jordan the whole time. I mean, and then every other guy who asked me to go on a date, they were like, all the boys were close friends. So it was like, you're just, you're dating one of his like close buddies on the boat. It's awkward. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. Like everyone's just kind of stuck in their pair, for the most part anyway.
Were you on the boat before you actually joined in on the second episode? Like how were you flown in? Like how did that work?
Wow. Okay. So I was supposed to leave on
Great
a
question.
certain date. And then I get a text from like one of the casting people, and they were like, we need you to leave today. Like, you need to pack your stuff and leave. Like your flight's in an hour. You need to go, because they were like, Jordan said he's not happy. So we have to get this girl there right now. So I was on 4 different planes, got on the boat, and then went right into filming. After like I showered, got ready, and then went into filming. And then they were like, here's Jordan. You should pick each other. So literally that first episode I come in, I just came off 4 planes, didn't sleep, didn't know what was going on. I'm pretty sure I blacked out from being so exhausted at some point. I was literally just going off of Red Bulls for the first
Wow.
episode. Yeah.
Do you know if anybody else, like, was it all like that? Like people were just flown in, or
No,
like, because you were there for the, like, after that you were there the entire time. I wasn't sure if you like talked on the phone to somebody, be like, hey, when did you actually get here?
Well, a few people like Tyler, for example, was there for like 2 weeks before she entered onto her episode.
But she was just in her room alone.
Yeah, and
Whew.
Mila also, like
Man.
we were all in. We weren't allowed to see each other because I wasn't
Right.
supposed to know if they were there. We all obviously did see each other, but like, you know,
She could call you and be like, hey, I'm not on the show yet, but I'm gonna meet you soon.
I'm coming in soon.
I'm so
Yeah,
bored.
so a lot of people did that. I think Dean also. It was really sad because they would have these people sitting in their cabin waiting to come on the show, and then they would come out and then get eliminated as soon as
Yeah.
they came out, which really sucks.
That
but
sucks.
like, for
would
me-
they stay on the boat, or like did they actually kick them out?
no, they would actually get on the next flight home.
Wow.
Oh
Woof,
my-
woof.
They really shove off.
They really shoved them off the boat.
A literal 3-hour tour. So like,
I hope you enjoyed your cruise.
I hope you had fun. Here's the t-shirt. Never even got to see Jerry O'Connell. Maybe you get to say hi to his kids. Okay. So this is the question we get the most on our comment section. And we briefly touched on a pre-show, but we didn't really want to know. We want to get a genuine reaction here. Is there a shot, or have you heard anything about a season 2 of The Love Boat?
Yeah, I've heard a rumor from like a reliable source that there will be a season 2 of The Real Love Boat, but I've heard that, but they're changing the concept, I guess. So
Ooh, geez.
I heard through the grapevine that they want to get influencers for the next season, so that there's a little bit more traction.
Oh wow.
I could see that. Okay. Wow. Ooh, I like that.
I like it, but that's gonna lose the
Juicy.
wholesomeness of the show.
Yeah, like you're not having your regular
You need
people.
money,
have-
Brian.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
think
care
they should
about
have a mix
us.
of both. Like bring on a few influencers
Yeah.
and bring on like some
Well,
regular.
bring me back for season.
I was just gonna ask you, would you go
Hashtag
back?
Big Brack
One
Kendra.
traveling. Why not?
My success rate for the first season was not that great, so might as well give it a second shot. You know.
We're gonna push for
Yeah,
it.
they should have people on there like more in the beginning, and you can mingle with maybe 10 or 15 people, and then like maybe episode 3, then we start eliminating people. So you can actually, I don't know. That's just an idea I had.
I think that may be it, and like I think we're allowed to give our feedback also soon about the show. I don't know if that's still gonna be a thing, but like
I think you're
my-
doing it right now.
Yeah, we'll let Jerry know about our feedback too.
my feedback, I'll just right. Honestly, a lot of it, like I wish the interactions between everyone was more organic. Like I feel like we were all like put in situations like all the time. Like
Yeah.
Like my first date with Jordan, it wasn't like, do you want to go on a date with Jordan? It was just like, she's on a date with Jordan. And like, you know, you're kind of guided on what to talk about, who to talk to, things like that. So I feel like if they just put us on the boat and like had some camera guys around us and let us all mingle naturally, like things would have worked out very differently.
So Matt had too much control over your life.
Matt and Ezra had way too much control over my love life, and I'm gonna blame Ezra for why it didn't work out.
Was Captain Paulo actually the captain?
He is a real actual captain.
But was he the captain of this boat?
Yes.
He was.
He
Okay.
was.
All right. I was having my doubts because he just
He
seems
is
to dip away all the time.
But when we were filming, he wasn't like captaining. He was like doing his filming stuff. I guess it was like his off period. That I guess.
Yeah,
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 someone
like,
else had the cons.
Second,
you
yeah.
know?
Someone else was driving the boat at that time.
All right, good. I'm glad he actually was a real captain. I thought it was a joke or like.
Boats like drive themselves now, don't they? I mean, you know, let's be real. They probably all just GPS. Let's be
I don't
real.
know. That thing looks hard to park.
Plug it in the ocean, just go. Just see you later. Love drives the love boat anyway, Brian.
Exactly.
Thank you. So I really think honestly that's the main stuff I had. Bri, Waleed, anything I didn't cover that you guys want to go over?
Well, my captain question and like when she actually joined were like my two major points. Is there anything that happened that wasn't filmed that you thought was kind of important for like what happened in the show? I know you didn't watch all the episodes, but is there like a major point they didn't show that you thought was important?
I feel like there's a few things like, well, everyone else went on dates with everybody. They didn't show a lot of that. Also, the reason why Sarah ended up picking Nathan at one point was because when I was on my second date with Dean, he told me that, you know, he wasn't exactly physically attracted to Sarah. So I went and told Sarah this, and it, you know, off camera, I was like, he said this on our date and I feel like you should know. So then she ended up not picking Dean because that's like not like, why would you pick someone who's not even like, who's not into you like that? So that was the reason why, but they didn't show it. So it was one of the things they didn't show. I was like trying to look out for my girl. They didn't show it. There was some like dramatic bits they didn't show, like when Marty was having his little go off at Emily at that one sail away. We were all like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening here? Stuff like that, like things, little pieces of drama that they didn't show. I can't think of anything like specific. There's a lot of things that they cut out. Like I can't even remember. You know, there was scenes between me and Shaylin where she's talking about the stuff that happened with Bree, which they completely cut out. You know, she was like, I don't know who to believe. That's all cut out. So stuff that would have given context, you know?
I like that. No, honestly, I agree. But to be fair, I think we were all very surprised to hear you guys didn't get to interact more than you did, because it did seem like you guys knew each other pretty well. So
I know, to me it was weird because like people were like, why do you like each other so much? Like how are these couples so strong? And I'm like, I have no idea, because according to the show, we talked to each other for 2 minutes and we're like, I love him. That's who I want to do it for the rest of my life. So I can understand from a viewer perspective. Like I was there, so I know why. But like watching it, you're like, you knew him for a day. Like, why do you care? I feel like they need to show more context around the relationships and the friendships too. Like, that's my feedback. If you're watching CBS,
maybe since it'll be on Paramount Plus now, they can be more, I guess, have more liberty of showing those things. That's maybe make more episodes and just have maybe some more, like you're saying, like these phone calls. I guess they're not going to show the phone calls, but just those genuine moments where you're looking out for your friend, and like that's like good drama, I think.
Yeah, and on the Australian one, like they were able to just mingle. Like had a part of the ship that was sectioned off for them. They were able to mingle around with each other naturally. Like I feel like a lot more would come from us doing that. Like whether it's drama or, you know, a change in everyone's path. That would be my suggestion. More organic stuff. Because there was a lot of people I didn't actually get to know on the boat. Like I didn't have the opportunity to talk to them, and then they would be gone. And I'd be like, well, this is nice to see you in passing, I guess. But yeah.
Awesome. I mean, as far as yourself, anything that you have going on that you want anyone to know about, anything else, like as far as socials, projects, anything that, you know, you have going on your day to day?
No, just working my 9 to 5. But if you want to follow on social media, it's Kendra Yurch on all of my platforms. I actually was asked to be on another reality TV show. So maybe you'll see me somewhere at some point. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
I did have one question though regarding, because after the finale last week, I read up with some articles saying that none of the couples are still together, seeing like mixed, I guess like feedback from it and things like that I was reading up on. But they said about like Mike and Emily, because they won the show, they're not together anymore either, but they still keep in touch as friends. And that because they were given the $50,000 prize and also the Princess Cruise, they said that they're trying to that they want to go on the cruise, but they want to bring like the cast back together for that. Is there any truth to that you can say?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Ooh.
Wally the newsbreaker.
Yeah, I was reading up.
Waleed, I like that.
I was like, hey, is there any truth to that? I'm just asking. It's something I read that they're like trying to they would like to go on the cruise, but bring back the cast. So for like a reunion or something. Is there any truth?
Well, I know they've been talking about getting together, so that definitely sounds about right. But I feel like I don't know if it would happen, like if we would all be able to organize that, but we'll definitely be getting together at some point.
Okay.
I like that.
I'd be
You
down.
guys need a reunion, I think.
It has to be on a boat.
Yes.
Has to be on a boat.
After the port is what it can be called.
We just get a canoe and just like get any boat to start chatting together.
You guys should get a below deck charter, and then you can meet Captain Sandy, and then get involved in that drama.
Are you allowed to tease any of that show? Is this going to be an American show? Like we'll be able to see it?
Yeah, it's an American show.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Like this
Yeah.
is a possibility, or it's like kind of written in stone?
It's something I'm thinking about right now.
Do
If
it.
it's something I
Do
want
it.
to do. Yeah, do
Do
it.
it.
Do it, please.
I
That'd
know
be
what it is.
awesome.
Do it.
Don't tell us that. I want to just be watching something and then there you are.
And to just me be there. Can you imagine? You're oh my gosh, I spoke
Yeah.
to her before, and
the
I've seen her on the Love
Leonardo
Boat.
DiCaprio meme. That's what it'd be.
If you do it and it gets announced and you put it out there, 100% we'll have you come back and you can tease whatever the project is once it's official. And, then maybe even come back and recap after the fact, but we would love to hear and follow anything you have going on, but that's really exciting tease. Again, personally, I think you should do it.
I will take your advice, Bill. I'll do it. because-
I listen, I'm just saying I would not lead you astray. I'm wearing a Reading Rainbow sweatshirt. Like I wouldn't do you like that.
I know. I trust you. I trust you.
There's
I
some
thought-
reason I trust you.
I trust you with your rainbow.
Kendra, honestly, we really appreciate the time, really appreciate all the interaction. We were going to try to get a few more of your castmates on throughout. So hopefully the conversation here is a start. Our pipe dream goal is to get Jerry O'Connell in the end when we've shown how friendly we were. So we'll see if we can.
I would so be down. You just has anyone reached out to Jerry? Jerry, if you're watching this, you need to get on here.
Well, I'm going to tag him on socials
I'll
and
clip-
I'll
this is
definitely
clip.
DM him.
This is the clip moment of the show.
There's plenty of good clip moments, but this was definitely a great one. Kendra, again, thank you so much. We had a blast, and I'm sure the audience is going to love this. But for myself, Brian, Waleed, and Kendra, thank you. Peace.